Late last night, Justin Baldoni's team filed an amended complaint in their lawsuit against Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, the New York Times, and in it, they dropped an exhibit that is basically a timeline with a lot more evidence, including text messages between Justin and Ryan. We got to break these down. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signore. Guys, I did not plan to be here this weekend. It's Diego's birthday. My son is turning 6, so I'm going to try my best to give you a little bit and scattered throughout the weekend. We'll be live on Monday. I know, I'm sorry, but there's so much to break through, guys. I can't even begin to explain how deep this document of text and information is. I got it late last night. I couldn't even finish it all yet, but we've done our best to get through some of the most important points. I think we're going to give them to you in pieces here and along on our Instagram, so make sure you're following us on both places. I want to start here with this comment from Brian Friedman. The decision to amend our lawsuit was a logical next step due to the overwhelming amount of new proof that has come to light. This fresh evidence corroborates what we knew all along, that due to pure egotistical reasons, Miss Lively and her entire team colluded for months to destroy reputations through a complex web of lies, false accusations, and manipulation of illicitly received communications. The ongoing public interest in this case online has ironically shed light on the undeniable facts pertaining to the New York Times and how heavily Miss Lively and her representatives were not only deeply involved in the attempted takedown and smear campaign of Mr. Baldoni, Wayfair Studios, and their teams, but that they themselves initiated it. Now, what this actually means is that all those TikToks and metadata that we've been reporting on, and so many of you guys have been reporting on, it's been making a difference. His team's getting it, and it's affecting this case. It's bringing new evidence to light. So we should not stop. We are not harassing. We are doing our homework. And I think Blake Lively and team are very terrified by it. And that all those TikToks, metadata, etc., are the reason for this amended complaint. And in a brilliant move, I got to say, by their legal team, they've managed to delay the website in a way that doesn't cause trouble on Monday's big court hearing, where they could have used that against them, and instead filed it as an Exhibit A in this amended complaint. So now we just got a lot more evidence and examples, etc., that, and the parts I've gotten through so far only help Justin tremendously. The stuff in here, guys, some of it is shocking. A lot of it we knew, but they've added new nuance and details and context that, again, in the timeline of things, makes Blake look even worse. But I want to focus on this in this first video. We're going to go through a lot of these points throughout the weekend. So please hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us over on Instagram. Will you put over on Popcorn Planet? We're trying to post more texts and things, more breaking. And I appreciate you guys who've joined us over there. I know some of you don't like Meta. I know, but I need another outlet where we can post quickly and not always just rely on Google. We got to diversify. So please, if you're on Instagram, follow us over at Popcorn Planet. Stay tuned. But let's get to the texts. There's so much to break down, guys. These texts are wild. Okay, so these are the text message exchange that we got from Justin to Ryan, and then Ryan to Justin as the shoot started. I want to read these out with you. Ready? Here's the Justin text to Ryan. Hey, Ryan, Justin Baldoni here, the guy who brought his literal baggage to his meeting with your wife. I asked Blake for your number well over a month ago and have wanted to text you for a while now, but my good old nerves got the best of me. Emily and I have a very small circle. We live out in the country in Ohio and pretty much just hang out with each other. We've known all of our closest friends for years, and I don't really have any close female friends that my wife isn't also friends with, let alone married ones. And so I guess this is just an awkward text to say, I'd like to be friends. I'm happy there's no check yes or no box. Blake also sent the sweetest message to my wife unprompted, saying something similar, which just made me respect her and your union even more. I've been a supporter and admirer from afar of both yours for both of yours for years. You are in a class of your own, and I so appreciate the way you move through the world as a man, but also you both as a couple. Your work-family balance and the way you manage to show up, not just as a husband, but as a father, is so beautiful. I aspire to have that balance. I also find myself struggling with it a lot. Your support of her doing this movie meant the world to me. When Blake told me that one of your reasons she and you leaned in was because of the love I have for my wife, it was by far the most meaningful reason that I've ever had someone want to work with me. I hope my late night texts with her haven't been too annoying, and I really am looking forward to all of us spending some time together. My family is coming for half the time, which is going to be hard for me as we haven't spent more than a week apart in 11 years. But we will make it work. And I know my kids are excited to make some new friends, and yours. I'm going to do everything I can to get Blake out at least a few days earlier than before. The schedule is still being worked on, as I know how important it is for you all to be together and honor, and I honor that. I can't promise it yet, but I'll do whatever I can. And finally, congrats on your gorgeous son. That kid sure won the lottery up there to get it to choose you both as parents. Okay, that's the end of my vulnerability vomit. All that said, looking forward to seeing you all, and maybe we can get a workout or two in while I prep. I'm excited to work with you. Much love. P.S. Let me know if the offer to move in still stands. Okay, look, very nice. And again, goes against this whole, like, there's jealousy and he's trying to do it. Justin, like, goes out straight and like, hey, dude, respect. I love my family. I know you love yours. Your wife's been so sweet. Let's all be friends. Honestly, kind of a good take in my point of view. And Justin got a response from Ryan agreeing. Sorry for the delay. I've been in a writing cave and the girls are sick again. I've told they have some immune system, but it's in beta testing. Here we go. Let's get through it. What a loving and generous message. Thank you. We're both looking forward to get to know you and your family better. We're also big fans over here since before we met and more so after. You've been a wonderful collaborator with B, and that means a great deal to both of us. Being a stand-up person is everything, and you've been just that since day one. Thank you. You've hit the jackpot with B. She literally passes on every film and every filmmaker all the time. But one thing I know, and I speak from deep wellspring of experience here, having her in your court behind the scenes as a creative is invaluable. Some of the greatest decisions. Did I skip one? Sorry, it's this. I'm certain blank would say blank would say the same. Some of the greatest creative decisions I've made are in fact Blake. The same goes for blank. The acting is a small piece of a pretty astounding patchwork quilt of creativity. More than anything, I rely on her taste. Far beyond movies, I really on her taste for all I think he meant I rely on her taste for all aspects of my businesses. That multidimensional creative output is something I can see in both of you. I'm excited for you to work together. I'm excited for Blake to crack open her creative piggy bank with someone as dynamic as you. This is going to be incredible. And thank you for understanding what it means to me personally to have my family reunited as soon as possible. Nothing means more to her either. I can promise you we're hardwired for keeping our family together. It's how to win us. It's also how to kill us when we can't. We never, more maybe causes the stress that then they go crazy. We never split up, ever. It was a huge thing for us on this film. I tried to push our start date, but Marvel booked studios last July and blank timing was locked. Hughes, I guess, locked. And I've been frantically smashing out the third pass of the script to address structural changes, but mostly to get our budget down and shorten the shoot so I can fly back with the girls when school starts. We see and appreciate that you already moved significantly to make it work with her schedule because of the film she'd already committed to, which thankfully she was able to gracefully punt. She tried before but didn't share how hard. All this to say, I have your line producer's face tattooed to my perineum if he, she, they can figure out how to start 2 weeks earlier. Completely understand how big of an ask that is, but the perineum is one of the most nervy parts of the human body to expose to trauma. So, looking forward to seeing you, and thank you again for all you've doing. I happen to adore you, Justin XO. This is the sweetest. All right, no, look, break this down. There's a lot in there. There's a lot that goes against a lot of the narratives we've been hearing. And there's a lot of manipulation. Ryan and Blake clearly using their power, they're popular. People look up to them. Justin was afraid to text him. Most people would. Ryan Reynolds is very famous. Deadpool's funny. And so, yeah, but they're doing a couple things here. They're really trying to control things by like, hey, you're going to use her more often than you realize, and you better, because otherwise I'm going to come back in. And then there's also this whole like move the shoot around. It's like, it's not that easy, dude. You can't just demand things. He's even saying it, but he's doing it in such a lovable way that it's like, really, you better move it. And this sets the tone. Because while we got this in here, things took a turn throughout this timeline, which we're going to break down in clips throughout. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right there. I'm not going to show you on screen. Just do it. Hit this. Make sure you're still subscribed. We're so close to 900,000. Maybe you'll be our 900,000 subscriber. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and get alerted because we got a lot more coming for you both here on Instagram. I want to give you this tease as well because things took a turn. Here's what's happened on July 15th, allegedly. Wayfair was informed that Reynolds contacted Baldoni's personal agent at WME. During that call, Reynolds escalated his attack on Baldoni's character, calling him a deranged predator. Baldoni's agent relays to Wayfair that he did his best to reason with Reynolds and challenge the absurd claims, but Reynolds was unwilling to consider any counter-narrative. Reynolds reiterated that Baldoni should not attend the premiere on August 6th, stating no one wants him there. When Baldoni's agent shares this conversation with Baldoni and Heath, both are disturbed by Reynolds' continued efforts to damage Baldoni's reputation within the agency. They then attended some pop-up shop, promote the film. Abel shares that Baldoni is struggling with immense pressure. Moreover, Baldoni is dealing with Ryan Reynolds calling his agent and saying what a horrible person he is. There's a text message to confirm that Abel's getting this word while they're out there, and he's constantly having to deal with this. And then apparently Wayfair was informed that Reynolds approached a senior executive and expressed his deep disdain for Baldoni, going as far to suggest that the agency is working with an actual predator. Now, what's really interesting is the theory actually that Lady C put out there, this idea that Ryan seemingly saw stuff and got jealous. It does play a little bit more likely in the full picture of things as I'm starting to read it. He gets way more involved and aggressive. And when you actually go through this timeline, which, lays everything out from who's nice to when and what happened, and a lot of other countermeasures that we're going to go through that, again, prove Blake Lively's not telling the full story and that more is on tape, including the sexy comment, which is basically the crux of it all. That was really what caused Blake to complain to Sony. Nothing else. A couple other things, but that was the main thing. And the birthing video were the two main things that she calls out, but she fails to mention that she had a first AD and a second AD, both women, fired. Why? Why did Blake not include that part in any of her complaints about the movie? That seems like that's an important part. Maybe Blake was just having trouble with people on the crew, not getting what she wants. She wanted to control it. There are text messages from Justin and his producers and how heartbroken, and they don't want to fire this AD, but Blake's control is evident throughout all the texts and power moves. And even in this nice cutesy exchange with Ryan, they are trying to get control from day one. And Justin, throughout all of it, is very kind, upfront, and it's so clear to me now, based on what we're seeing and why they wouldn't want these text messages out, Blake's team, because it's incredibly revealing. At this point, Blake needs to put this out there. Now, brilliant move doing it this way. Now it's part of a lawsuit. It's not actually the website to the press. This is part of an amended complaint, so technically it's a response, and it's due to new information they've discovered, which legally they're not allowed to do. So it's wild. It's only going to get wilder. They also talk about the fact that they shot that weird marketing promotion that Ryan seemingly led that charge. There's a lot more. We're going to break that down. So make sure, like I said, hit the subscribe. We're going to put this in pieces just so we can spread it all out. Because, guys, it's like another 200 pages to go through. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe. We got a lot more coming. Make sure you follow us over on Instagram as well. Appreciate all you guys that have been watching. So much more is coming. Stay tuned.